Good day everyone, my name is Mecca P. Banag and today I will be discussing Chapter 2, Developing Your Financial Statement and Plans under the topic Foundation of Personal Finance. So, in this presentation, we will learn about financial planning, financial statement, the balance sheet, asset, liability, net worth, and why these are important in managing our personal finance. So before we start, these are our learning goals. By the end of this discussion, we should understand the importance of financial planning, know the rule of financial statement, differentiate financial plan, budget, and financial statement. And also, we understand how to prepare and interpret the balance sheet. So let's begin with mapping out your financial future. So, ang financial planning kay di ba mao na siya ang process sa pagplan kung unsaon na to pag-manage atong kwarta para maabot nato ang atong mga financial goals. So, for example, if your goal is to finish college or buy a laptop. So, financial planning help you save money little by little until you reach that goal. So, it also helps us avoid unnecessary spending and prepares us for emergencies. Financial statements are important because they show our financial condition. They tell us how much we own and how much money we have. Meaning, makita na to kung pila atong kwarta and unsa atong mga butang nga ato jud or kung nabatay mga utang. Because of financial statement, we can monitor our financial progress, identify problems, and make better financial decision. So they help us know if we are improving financially or if we need to change our spending habits. So, kaning tulo ka term are related but they have different purposes. So, ang financial plan is our long-term guide to achieve our goals. Second, ang budget kay di ba mo na siya ang plan kung asa padulo ang atong income, expenses kada week or kada month. Then ang financial statement kay naga-show ni siya to our sa atong actual financial situation. In simple part, the financial plan tell us where we want to go, and the budget help us manage our money, and the financial statement shows where we are financially. So this diagram shows how financial planning work. First, we make a financial plan based on our goals. Next, we prepared a budget to manage our income and expenses. And after that, we prepare financial statement to check our financial result. Then after all is ato nang evaluate kung naabot ba nato ang atong mga goal o napabatay dapat usabon. So this process continuous because financial planning is ongoing activity. Now, let's move to learning goal 2, which is the balance sheet. Diba ang balance sheet is a financial statement that shows our financial position at a specific time. It has three main part which is ang asset, liability, and net worth. And it helps us understand whether our financial condition is healthy or not. Asset are the things we own that have value. So there are four types of asset, which is liquid asset, investment, real property, and personal property. So ang liquid asset is mo na siya ang cash and savings account. Second, investment is like stock, bonds, and kanang mutual funds. Then the third is real property, which include land and houses. Lastly, personal property such as cars, laptops, cell phones, and furnitures. So, basta na kay mga butang na siya value ug imo na siya asset na siya, guys. So, liabilities, kay mo na siya ang utang. There are two types of liabilities, which is current liabilities and long-term liabilities. So, current liabilities are debts that should be paid within 1 year, such as utility bills or credit card bills. Then, ang long-term liabilities are debts that take more than 1 year to pay, like home loans or car loans. So, ang important ani kay ma-manage nato ang atong mga utang aron dili nato siya lisod bayaran in the future. Net worth tell us our true financial values. We compute it by subtracting liabilities from asset. Net worth equal asset minus liabilities. If our assets are greater than liabilities, we have a positive net worth. So if liabilities are greater than asset, we have a negative net worth. Then another important formula is asset equal liability plus net worth. So this is called the balance sheet equation. Worksheet 2.1 is an example of personal balance sheet. So Bob and Kathy listed all their assets and liabilities and calculate their net worth. So this example shows us how a balance sheet is prepared and how it helps evaluate a person's financial condition. It also teaches us the importance of keeping track of what we owned and what we owe. Preparing a balance sheet is simple. First is kanang ilista lang nimo tanan imong assets. Second is ilista sa nimo tanan imong liabilities. Third is subtract liabilities from asset to compute your net worth. So, by doing this regularly, we can monitor our financial progress and make better financial decision. So this graph shows that younger people usually have lower net worth because they are just starting their careers. While as people grow older, they earn more income, save more money, invest, and buy more assets. So because of this, their net worth generally increase. However, after retirement, net worth may decrease because people begin using their savings for daily expenses. To summarize, financial planning helps us achieve our goals and manage our money wisely. So financial statement shows our financial condition and balance sheet tells us what we own and what we owe. Assets are things we own while liabilities are our debts. So, net worth is different between asset and liability. And by understanding this concept, we can make smarter financial decision and build a more secure financial future. So that ends my presentation for today. Thank you for listening and God bless.
Good day, everyone. I am April Salinawan, and today I will discuss three important topics, which are the income and expense statement, four ratios, and lastly, budgeting.
Before we start, let me ask you a question. Why do we need to track our finances? So ikaw ba sa mga sarili, have you ever said, wala ko kabalo kung asa nabot akong kwarta ay. Asa man dyan nabot akong kwarta? That happens to a lot of us. Tracking our finances is like having a map for our money. It answers the question, where does all the money go? Financial statements shows us our actual results. They help us compare what we really spend to what we plan to spend. If we track our money, we can see if we are improving or not. We can see if we are saving more, spending less, or reaching our goals. Without tracking, it is hard to know if we are getting better with money. So now, let's move on to the income and expense statement. So there are three major parts of income and expense statement. First is income, second is expense, and lastly is the cash surplus or deficit. So the formula is income minus expenses is equal to surplus or deficit. So the income and expense statement is like a movie of your money. It shows what happened to your cash during a certain time, like 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year. It has three parts. First is income, second is expense, and lastly is the cash surplus or deficit. So if your income is bigger than your expenses, you have a surplus. That means you saved money. But if your expenses are bigger than your income, you have a deficit. That means you overspent your money. This statement uses cash basis lang. That means record lang nimo ang money na imuhang actual na na-receive or actual na imuhang gibayaran. Now, let's focus on income or cash in. So, you might ask, asa man jud gikan ang akong kwarta? Or where does my money come from? So, income is all the money that comes into your pocket. So, the most common is salary or wages from work. So, if you have work, ang salary or ang kwarta na imong ma-receive sa imong work called salary or wages. But income can also come from a business like selling online. Kapag nakay business, ang imong income na makuha sa imong business is called business income. And it can also come from investments like interest from the bank. And lastly, it can also be from allowances or gifts from parents or relatives. Parehas sa tua. We are still a student, so mga pa jud ta og allowances ato ang parents, and that is still called income. So when we record income, we use gross income. That means the amount of your money before taxes are taken out. So, money ang gross income mo, pa ni siya ang kwarta na imuhang makuha na wala pa kay expenses na gibayaran or wala pa siya mga taxes na nabawasan like SSS, PhilHealth, or unsa pa ba na mga taxes dira. So, this gives us the full picture of how much we earn. Now, let's move on to the expenses or cash out. This answers the question, where does money go or asa jud nimo gigasto ang imuhang kwarta? So, there are two types of expenses, which are the fixed expenses and the variable expenses. The fixed expenses are the same every month. Pare-pareho lang ang imong expenses every month. So, you already know how much you will pay, like pila imuhang rent, pila imong tuition, or pila ang imuhang internet bill. While the variable expense, kaning variable expense kay naga-change ni siya every month. Kay sometimes you will spend more for food, sometimes gamay lang, sometimes naga-transportation pa ka, sometimes nagabaktas lang ka. So, dili siya fixed na price. So, by separating them, makita nimo ang imong expenses na imong makontrol ug ang imong dili makontrol na expenses. Next is preparing the statement. So, an example here is the Bob and Kathy case. Diba, makita nimo diri as a Bob and Kathy case, ang ilahang income both kay total kay $73,040 and their expenses is $61,704. So, para mahimo nimo ning income and expense statement, kay kailangan nimo mag-follow og 3 steps. First is, kailangan nimo ilista tanan nimo income. So, kapag nakay-business and napod kay work, i-add nimo na sila. Tapos, mo na tanan total nimo income, kailangan nimo i-add tanan nimo na earn. Step 2 is, kailangan nimo ilista tanan nimo expenses. Tapos, i-group nimo siya sa fixed o variable expenses. And lastly is to subtract. So, income, total income minus total expense is equal to deficit or surplus. So, for example, here gani kay Bob and Kathy case. So, Bob and Kathy earned $73,040 in 1 year. Tapos, ang ilahang expenses were $61,704. So $703,040 minus $61,704 is equal to 11,336. So surplus siya. Kaya napa may extra money na ilahang may use for savings, investment, or magbayad sa ilahang mga utang. Next is keeping good records. Good records are very important. So, Kai, if you don't write things down, we tend to forget, di ba? Makalimot ka kung unsay mong gibayaran ato na time, unsay mong gibayaran ka ganina, unsay mong pangpalit. That is the reason why good records are very important. The best practice is to prepare your statement once a year. Usually, when magbuhat na ka og budget nimo. Pero mas better jud siya if you update it every 3 or 6 months. Kay para ma-fix nimo ang problems early pa lang sa year. Pwede ka mag-use og ledger or even just a notebook or Excel. Write down nimo ang imong assets, imong debts, income, and expenses. Also, keep your receipts and bills organized in a folder. Isa sa income ug isa sa expenses. Kay para easier na lang siya kapag magbuhat na kag budget nimo for the next year. So, tracking progress or the four ratios. There are four important ratios which are the solvency, liquidity, savings, and the debt service ratio. So numbers are good, but ratios helps us understand them better. These four ratios are like health check for your money. First is solvency ratio. It shows how much of your things are truly yours and not from that. 3A, kay Bob and Kathy, kay na sila 20.9% sa solvency ratio. Second is liquidity ratio. This answers na kapag wala kayo ako income today, how long can I survive? So, it should be 3 to 6 months. Pero sa ilaha, they only have 1.5 months. Third is savings ratio. Kani, ginapakita diriya ang percent sa imuhang income na imuhang ma-save. So, ang average na savings ratio kay 5 to 8%. Pero kay Bob and Kathy, kay nag-save sila og 19.7%, and that is very good. Fourth is debt service ratio. This shows how much of your income goes to paying loans. Kani siya kay you need to keep it under 35% so it's not stressful. Sila ha, kay nalang sila 20.4%. Now, let's move on to cash in and cash out budgeting. A budget is your plan for your money. It is like telling your money where to go before ka magasto. So, a cash budget has 5 benefits. First, Kai, it helps us monitor or control our money. Second, it helps us allocate income so we can reach our goals. So, if natin goal na magpalit og new phone or magbayad sa tuition, makatabang ang pag-budget sa atoa. Third is, it creates a disciplined spending system. Kay para dili ta mag-random na lang og palit dere, palit dito, bisan pag dili na to kailangan. Fourth is, it helps us reduce needless spending. Kay para magkaroon ta og more savings. And lastly, it helps us achieve long-term goals like if gusto nato mag-buy og new house or gusto na nato mag-retire. So as our lives changes, our budget should also change. So what makes our country wealthy? Not just because of money in the bank. So there are two types of assets, real assets and financial assets. Real assets are like the things that actually create products and services like factories, farms, or skills and knowledge of the people how to produce a goods or services. While ang financial assets naman is like a paper lang na nagapakita nga ikaw ang owner ana na asset like stocks and bonds. Ang bonds kay na makay certificate ana. So, kana ang financial assets. Money flows like this. If we invest in companies, companies use that money to buy machines. Those machines make products, and then companies earn profits and give it back to us. So always remember, real assets create wealth. Financial assets decide who gets that wealth. So in summary, you need to track your income and expense every month. Use the four ratios to check money health. Real asset is producing goods and services. Financial assets claim or share on profit. To end, we have learned three steps. First is track using the income and expense statement. So, para makabalo ka kung asa gikan ang imong money o asa padulong ang imong money. Step 2 is to analyze using the four ratios kay para ma-check nimo if ang imong money ba is healthy ba for you. Step 3 is plan. You can plan using budgeting. You can tell your money where to go so that you can reach your goals. These three tools help us understand, control, and improve our financial health. Always remember that your money should work for you and not the other way around. I hope you have learned something from me, and that's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Angela Camille M. Bitangkol and today I will be discussing the budgeting process. So before we start, let me ask you a question. Have you ever received your allowance or salary and after a few days you wondered where all your money went? So I think many of us have experienced that. That is why budgeting is very important. Budgeting helps us plan how we will use our money. It tells us how much money we expect to receive and how much we plan to spend. It also helps us avoid overspending, save money, and prepare for future needs or emergencies. First, let's define what a cash budget is. A cash budget is a plan for your income and expenses for 1 year. It helps you estimate how much money will come in and how much money will go out. So the purpose of a cash budget is to help us manage our money properly, instead of spending without thinking. We already have a plan to follow, and it also helps us avoid spending too much, save money for future goals, and prepare for unexpected expenses or emergencies. So for example, as a student, if we receive a weekly allowance, we can divide it for food, transportation, school projects, and savings. By doing this, we know where our money goes, and we are less likely to run out of money before the week ends. The first step in budgeting is estimating our income. Income is all the money we expect to receive during the year. Some examples are take-home pay, bonuses, interest from savings, dividends, rental income, or earning from a part-time job or freelance work. So when making a budget, it is important to use realistic amounts. We should not guess or overestimate our income because it can make our budget inaccurate. We also need to know when we will receive our income. Some people receive money every month, while others receive it quarterly or only once a year. So knowing our total income helps us decide how much we can safely spend without going beyond our budget. After estimating our income, the next step is estimating our expenses. Expenses are all the money that we expect to spend. These include housing, utilities like electricity, water, and internet, food, and transportation. The presentation also reminds us not to forget yearly expenses, such as insurance or vehicle registration. This may not happen every month, but we still need to prepare for them. One good tip is to look at our previous spending. This helps us estimate our expenses more accurately. If we know where our money usually goes, it becomes easier to control our spending and avoid unnecessary expenses. Now that we know our estimated income and expenses, we can finalize the cash budget. To do this, we use the formula. Cash surplus or deficit equals total income minus total expenses. There are two possible results. The first is a cash surplus. A cash surplus means our income is greater than our expenses. This is a good sign because we have extra money that we can save, invest, or use for emergencies. The second is a cash deficit. A cash deficit means our expenses are greater than our income. This tells us that we are spending more than we earn. If this happens, we need to reduce our expenses or increase our income. Our goal is to have a balanced budget where our income is equal to or greater than our expenses. So what should we do if we have a budget deficit? The first solution is to cut unnecessary expenses. For example, we can reduce spending on entertainment, shopping, or eating out. The second solution is to increase our income. We can look for a part-time job, do freelance work, or sell things that we no longer use. The third option is to use our savings or borrow money. However, borrowing should only be done when it is really necessary, because we will need to pay it back in the future. The best solution is always to manage our money carefully so we can avoid having a deficit. Now, let's look at the example of Bob and Kathy. At first, their annual income was $63,085, while their annual expenses were $63,299. This means they have $214 deficit because they spent more than they earned. Instead of ignoring the problem, they reviewed their budget. They reduced their vacation expenses, delayed buying a stereo, rescheduled some loan payments, and reduced their fund money. After making these small adjustments, they were able to reduce their expenses and ended up with $1,127 surplus. This example teaches us that even small changes in our spending habits can make a big difference. Creating a budget is only the first step. We also need to use a budget control schedule. This means we compare our actual income and actual expenses with the amounts we plan in our budget every month. So if we notice that we spent more than expected, we can immediately adjust our spending for the next month. The budgeting process follows a simple cycle: plan, monitor, and adjust. So by checking our budget regularly, we can stay on track and avoid bigger financial problems. The last topic is variance. A variance is simply the difference between the amount we planned in our budget and the amount that actually happened. There are two types of variance. The first is a positive variance. This means we spent less than planned or earned more than expected. This is favorable because we have extra money that we can save, invest, or use to pay debts. The second is a negative variance. This means we spent more than we planned. This is unfavorable because it can affect our budget. If we have a negative variance, we should reduce unnecessary spending, delay non-essential purchases, or look for ways to increase our income. To summarize my presentation, budgeting is a simple but very important tool for managing our money. The budgeting process starts by estimating our income, then estimating our expenses. Next, we calculate whether we have a cash surplus or a cash deficit. After that, we monitor our budget every month using a budget control schedule, compare our planned and actual spending, and make adjustments whenever needed. Always remember that budgeting is not about stopping yourself from spending. It is about spending wisely, saving for the future, and making better financial decisions. So if we follow these simple steps, we can avoid financial problems and become more responsible in handling our money. Thank you for listening. That ends my presentation.
Good day, everyone. My name is Romeo P. Arances Jr. and today I will discuss about the time value of money, also known as TVM. Objectives: define the time value of money or TVM. Explain future value or FV and present value or PV. Understand compounding and discounting. Apply TVM in financial planning. So what is TVM or time value of money? It means that money today is more valuable than the same amount in the future because it can be invested or saved to earn interest. This principle highlights the importance of saving early as money grows faster when given more time. By understanding TVM, individuals can make better financial decisions and maximize the potential of their resources. In short, money today is worth more than the same amount in the future because it can earn interest when saved or invested. Saving early helps your money grow over time. For example, bank savings. If you deposit $1,000 in a savings account with a 5% annual interest rate, after 1 year, your money grows to $1,050. This simple illustration shows how money increases in value when invested, reinforcing the idea that money today has earning potential that makes it more valuable than money received later. Next is future value. Future value refers to the amount the money will grow into after earning interest over time. For instance, investing $100 at a 5% interest rate results in $105 after 1 year. This demonstrates how investments accumulate and grow, helping individuals plan for future financial goals with a greater accuracy. Next is the future value formula. The formula for calculating future value is equal to amount invested multiplied by future value factor. For example, investing $5,000 with a factor of 1.340 results in $6,700. This formula provides a systematic way to project how much an investment will be worth in the future, making financial planning more precise. Next is present value of an annuity. The present value of an annuity is used to calculate equal yearly withdrawals, making it useful for retirement income or pension planning. By applying the formula with the present value annuity factor, individuals can figure out how much they can withdraw annually from an initial deposit, ensuring financial stability in the future. Next is compounding. Compounding occurs when interest earns additional interest, allowing money to grow faster over time. For instance, saving $2,000 annually for 20 years at a 5% interest results in total deposits of the $40,000. But the compound interest significantly increased the final amount. This demonstrates the powerful effect of compounding in wealth accumulation. Next is present value formula. Present value calculates how much money today is equivalent to a future amount. Using the formula, present value is equal to future value multiplied by present value formula. For example, a future value of $300,000 with a factor of 0.295 is equal to $88,500 today. This helps determine how much needs to be invested now to reach a future financial goal. Next is future value of an annuity. An annuity represents a series of equal payments made regularly. The future value of an annuity calculates the total worth of these payments, including interest at a specific future date. For example, if your goal is $38,300 and the future value annuity factor is 6.802, you would need to save $5,630.70 yearly. This helps in planning long-term savings goals like retirement or education. The difference between future value and present value. Many students get confused between future value and present value, but the difference is actually simple. Future value starts with the money you have today and calculates how much it will grow in the future after earning interest, while present value starts with money you will receive in the future and calculates how much it is worth today. For example, like if you invest $100 today at a 5% interest, after 1 year it becomes $105. This is future value because the money grows over time. On the other hand, if someone promises to give you $105 in 1 year from now, That money is worth only $100 today. This is present value because we are funding today's value of future money. So remember this, future value is today or future money growth, while the present value is the future today money is discounted. Next is important terms. The time value of money or TVM. Money today is worth more than the same amount in the future. Next is future value or FV. The value of money at a future date after earning interest. Next is present value or PV. The current worth of money to be received in the future. Next is annuity. A series of equal payments made at regular intervals. Next is compounding. Earning interest on both the original amount and previously earned interest. Next is discounting. Finding the present value of a future amount by removing interest. Next is future value factor or FVF, a multiplier used to calculate future value based on interest rate and time. Next is present value factor or PVF, a multiplier used to calculate present value based on the interest rate and time. Importance of TVM. Why is TVM important? It helps plan financial goals, helps determine how much to save, helps to determine how much to invest. It encourages early saving, and it improves financial decision making. So the time value of money is crucial because it helps people plan financial goals, determine how much to save or invest, and encourage early saving. By applying TVM, individuals can make better financial decisions and improve their ability to achieve long-term objectives like retirement or education funding. Next is summary. In summary, money today is more valuable than money in the future because of its earning potential. Future value shows how investments grow while present value shows how much to invest now to reach future goals. Compounding accelerates saving growth, and overall, TVM is a vital tool for achieving financial success. Thank you.
I just had to let you know you're